Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I said good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Breakfast Show with Marisha LaShay. It is so good to be here with you guys this morning. I would not want to be anywhere else but here with you. Thank you guys for tuning in this morning, all my early risers, money makers. How y'all doing? What's good? Happy Monday. The last Monday in November. Let's give it up and thank God for all that He is doing in our lives this morning. I am Marisha LaShay, your host of this amazing podcast. Wow. Another Monday, the last Monday, right? After coming off a Thanksgiving break. Truly, truly grateful, ready to go ahead and push forth into this week. It's going to be a lot of great things happening, but first and foremost, just giving God the honor and the praise and for Him being the head of my life. Whew. Thank you. I have so much to be thankful for. Just another opportunity to get before you guys. Just another opportunity to go ahead and share what I have been working on and what I've been doing. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and segue into what the Breakfast Show with Marisha LaShay is all about. It was a show designed with you all in mind to have thought-provoking things and creating that platform for those particular things that I have been thinking with the motivation driven from my father and just stepping out there on faith and just creating this dear thing that has been near and dear to my heart. The Breakfast Show with Marisha LaShay was born. It was born at 3 a.m. when my father and I would come together to have these productive meetings in the morning to work on our goals, to goal setting and different aspirations of what we plan to achieve. And this was one of those things. Meanwhile, this has provided me with a continuous marathon and to utilize my gift of gab to help inspire, motivate, and encourage other people with real world issues and topics. And here I am today, you guys. Whew. Thank you. All is all I can say. Today is day 28 of the Breakfast Show with Marisha LaShay, and we have been in full effect for the months of November, April, June, and September. Those are the months in which I show up and show out for this show, okay? We only appear in the months that have 30 days. And as I just mentioned, those are the months in which I show up and show out. But, and this is a strong but, you'll be seeing more of me because I have decided to add a couple things to the lineup, even though it's going to be, popping up here and there with the holidays coming up. I'm popping out. You guys gonna pop out. We all gonna pop out. We all gonna turn up. So as I stated before, it is day 28 of the Breakfast Show, Marisha LaShay. However, I always love to do a countdown to get us to the end of the month or whatever the case. And we have 2 more days that I come before you. Oh, you guys don't get sad. I have more stuff coming. Collaborations, guest star within these last 2 days or so. Just being able to pay tribute and to have those different individuals on the show and whatnot, and just to give them their flowers, okay? While they are still living and not dead. Meanwhile, so as I stated before, 2 more days of the Breakfast Show with Marisha LaShay, and we're going to go ahead and keep moving forward. Definitely checking in. We're getting ready to do our mental check-ins. We're checking in with ourselves based on how we are feeling and how we're starting our day. When we are checking in, it is ranging on a scale from 1 to 10. 1 being the lowest of how you may feel today, and 10 being the best day of your life. Can I be below the scale and can I be above the scale? Absolutely, you can be below or above the scale and off the scale. Nobody's going to be able to tell you how you feel. Only you know how you feel and everything that you are planning to do based on how you feel. So today, I'm a strong 8.8, okay? And I'm a strong 8.8 because I took the best nap of my life. It was 2 hours and some change. I got up this morning, I got moving, I got going, but I was very active / last night coming into this morning of getting the things that I needed to get done on my list, and I feel awesome. Did some planning for this week. I only got to my to-do list from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, but that's great because I'll continuously to keep building upon it, and that is an awesome place to be able to kick off the week as we are going into countdown mode. Especially for me, the educators, we get ready to count down 3 more weeks, and we'll be on winter break. So with that being said, I'm definitely feeling that vibe and just that momentum. So that's what I'm getting ready to use to be able to push me on through the next 3 weeks. Meanwhile, November went by really fast, right? And I'm just like, man, it's almost over, is it? But that's okay. Let's stay focused and let's keep going. So today's message, before I jump into the message, go ahead and drop those numbers in the comments below. And just share if you feel led to share. The message for today is, did you know? Did you know? Did I know what? Did you know that they discovered a new blood type group recently? So, let me go ahead and share that with you guys. I have an article this morning that I'm going to be talking from and reading to you guys so you guys can get this new scoop on this new blood type that they are talking about and whatnot. But before I go ahead and get started, I want to go ahead and post this the link or whatever. That way you guys will be able to tune in for more content at a later time. And I also have something to share with you later on in the show. But without further ado is go ahead and jump right on in on this article. Scientists have discovered a new set of blood groups. The ER grouping could help doctors identify and treat some rare cases of blood incompatibility, including between pregnant mothers and fetuses. Okay. So the unborn baby was in trouble. Its mother's doctors at a UK hospital knew that there was something wrong with the fetus's blood, so they decided to perform an emergency C-section many weeks before the baby was due. But despite this and subsequent blood transfusions, the baby suffered a brain hemorrhage and devastating consequences. It sadly passed away. It wasn't clear why the bleeding had happened, but there was a clue in the mother's blood. When doctors had noticed some strange antibodies, sometime later as the medics tried to find out more about them, a sample of the mother's blood arrived at the lab in Bristol run by researchers who study blood groups. They made a startling discovery. The woman's blood was of an ultra-rare type, which may have made her baby's blood incompatible with her own. That's crazy. Let me go back and read that again. They made a startling discovery. The woman's blood was an ultra-rare type, which may have made her baby's blood incompatible with her own. It's possible that this prompted her immune system to produce antibodies against her baby's blood. Antibodies that then crossed the placenta and harmed her child, ultimately leading to its loss. It may seem implausible that such a thing could happen, but many decades ago, before doctors had a better understanding of blood groups, it was much more common. Through studying the mother's blood sample along with a number of others, scientists were able to unpick exactly what made her blood different, and in the process confirmed a new set of blood grouping. The ER system is the 44th to be described. You probably are familiar with the 4 main blood types A, B, O, and AB. But this isn't the only blood classification system. There are many ways of grouping red blood cells based on differences in the sugars or proteins that coat their surface, known as antigens. The grouping systems run concurrently, so your blood can be classified in each. It may be, for instance, B type O in the ABO system, positive rather than negative, under the rectus system, and so on. Thanks to the differences in antigens, if someone receives incompatible blood from a donor, for example, the recipient's immune system may detect those antigens as foreign and react against them. This can be highly dangerous and is why donated blood needs to be a suitable match for someone is having a transfusion. On the average, one new blood clarification system has been described by researchers each year during the past decade. These newer systems tend to involve blood types that are mind-bogglingly rare, but for those touched by them, just knowing that they have such blood could be life-saving. This is the story of how scientists unravel the mystery of the latest blood system and why it matters. It was back in 1982 that researchers first described an unusual antibody in a blood sample that hinted that this mystery blood type was out there. The scientists couldn't go much further than at the time. They knew that the antibody was a clue pointing towards some unknown molecule or structure that prompted the person's immune system to generate it. In the years that followed, more people with these unusual antibodies turned up, but only now and again. Generally, these people surface thanks to blood banks containing the mysterious and rare antibodies. Eventually, Nicole Thornton and her colleagues at the NHS Blood and Transplant in the United Kingdom decided to look into what might be behind the antibodies. We work on rare cases, she said. It starts off with a patient with a problem that we're trying to resolve. But so rare were the mysterious antibodies in the latest work when the team started their investigation. They had historical blood samples from just 13 people gathered over 40 years to analyze. Another recently established systems have been thanks to similarly small numbers of people. Back in 2020, Thornton and her colleagues described a new blood group called MAM negative, and that at the time was confirmed in just 11 people worldwide. And some of the most recently discovered blood types have been found in single families. She adds, both MAM and ER are obscure references to the names of the patients whose blood samples first sparked the possibility of a new blood group discovery. Okay? It turns out that the new 44th grouping system detailed in the journal Blood is tied to a particular protein found on the surface of red blood cells. Originally, Thornton had an inkling this protein called Penzol was involved after she compared the genomes of the patients in the study. She and colleagues noticed how the gene responsible for this protein varies across people with different ER blood types. Due to those genetic differences, a small number of people have alternative amino acids or building blocks in their Penzol protein. Blood cells with more common Penzol proteins seem foreign to their antibodies' immune systems as a result. However, the team has checked to see whether antibodies with lab cultures that either did or did not contain mutant versions of the Penzol protein they created using gene editing that allowed them to confer the vibration in Penzol really was the driver of blood incompatibility in the people whose samples they were looking at. It was something you couldn't have done a few years ago, says co-author Ash Toy, professor of cell biology at the University of Bristol. There are 5 ERS antigens in total, 5 possible variations of Penzol on the surface of red blood cells that can lead to incompatibility. 2 of the antigens were newly described by Thornton and her fellow researchers, and one of those was found in the blood from the pregnant woman in the UK who lost her baby. The results of the study will likely be officially ratified as defining a new blood group system later this year at a meeting at the International Society of the Blood Transfusion. The effort required to make the discovery was massive, says Neil Abbott, honorary professor in the blood diagnosis group at the University of Plymouth, who was not involved in the work. It also revealed complexities about this rare blood, for instance, that there are multiple genetic mutations associated with it. Across the Atlantic, a separate team of researchers had also been trying to unravel the secrets of the new ER blood group, but were beaten by the British team. That happens in this field, says Connie Westhoff of the New York Blood Center, who was part of the U.S. research. We often know that we're racing to find the solution in several different laboratories. She says she and her colleagues have additional blood samples that appear to be from people with a rare ER blood group, and the research may not be over, she suggests. There are possibly more genetic mutations associated with this rare blood to uncover. Discovering a new blood group system is like discovering a new planet. It enlarges the landscape of our reality, says Daniela Herman of the St. Louis University School of Medicine, who was not involved in the study. It adds to our knowledge of how blood incompatibility can affect pregnant mothers and their babies, she explains. And now that cases of blood incompatibility can potentially be attributed to the ER blood group, it increases the chance that doctors can correctly diagnose such a problem and treat it by giving the baby a blood transfusion in the womb, for example. It will be impossible to look out for and identify patients who have the troublesome blood. For an example, someone might go to a hospital for a transfusion and have a preliminary blood test that reveals that the presence of some unusual antibodies. Doctors could send the blood for analysis, and it may turn out that they have a rare ER blood described in the paper. We have our testing set up to be able to do that, says Thornton. Rare blood might and then be required for that person's transfusion. She adds, in the future, scientists in a lab might be able to grow red blood cells that could be offered to these patients for transfusion purposes. It's very, very unlikely that you'll have an incompatibility with someone else's blood due to ER antigens, says Abbott. But if you do, it's something you want to know more. You want to know more about. So with that being said, you guys, that is the new blood group. And thank you guys for listening and tuning in. The two things that I always love to remind you guys, and I always ask for your support, is being able to actually expand my listening base on the platform Anchor and other platforms. I have that link posted in the actual post itself, so you can click that. I need your support by expanding my listener base. And the second thing is being able to continuously expand globally. I am celebrating 2 years in the podcast business, and I'm also celebrating my 5th season. So I have been celebrating every day since this podcast has been back in effect, and I'm going to continue to keep celebrating until we get to our next anniversary. Thank you guys so much for your support, and thank you guys for tuning in this morning. I hope that you guys did learn something about this new ER group. I want you guys to have a marvelous Monday, and I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for me. See you later.